Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our channel. Something dramatic took place in Federal High Court Abuja this morning when Nnamdi Kanu decided to defend himself, and most of us did not understand the dynamics of the dramatic event that took place. The judge spoke. Nnamdi Kanu said some very, very silent words. The prosecuting lawyers demanded a change from the consultant of Nnamdi Kanu over some of the things they were doing outside the courtroom, which they believe is outside the ethics of the legal framework. And of course, Justice Omosho, there was a dramatic situation that took place that made a retrospect to happen some few minutes after the situation. Of course, we're going to also get to hear Nnamdi Kanu's consultant speak on the situation on ground and what may likely be unfolded. Don't forget that this matter has been adjourned to 7th of November. We'll give you updates on that. But let's take you through the dramas that took place in court this morning. But before we do that, kindly subscribe to our channel. Now, Nnamdi Kanu walked into the courtroom calm but very determined. No lawyers beside him. He chose to speak for himself. And the courtroom was packed. Some people stood. Everyone knew today would be intense. Now, Kanu's first words were, he rose, looked directly at the judge and said, "My lord, there is no charge against me, not one. This court has no jurisdiction." His voice was steady, no fear, just clarity. He asked the court to rule on this immediately. Judge says, "Not now." Justice Omosho told him that the court would take his motion at the proper stage. Kanu didn't back down. He said, "Jurisdiction comes first. If there is no valid charge, there is no further stage." Murmurs in the gallery, people leaned forward. He raised the Supreme Court judgment aloud. Kanu opened the folder. Inside was the December 15, 2023 Supreme Court decision. He read a paragraph that said the charge used against him does not exist in Nigerian law and must be amended. He then looked straight at the government lawyers, who are the prosecuting lawyers. He said, "You were told to amend it. You refused. You forced me to plead to a charge that does not exist." You could feel the tension. Even the air felt heavy. The challenge that silenced the prosecution. Kanu turned to the lead prosecutor, senior advocate of Nigeria, that's a senior advocate, Awomolo. "Learn silk. Please tell this court, name the law I have broken." Awomolo shuffled his papers. He said nothing. Kanu repeated, "Just one law. The name, the section, the status. I am waiting." Still silence. Even people sitting at the back could sense the discomfort. Section 36, subsection 12. Kanu's key argument. Kanu reminded the court, "Our constitution says no person can be tried for an offense not written in a law. No written law, no offense. No offense, no trial." The judge disagreed. He said that rule only matters at the end at conviction. Kanu replied immediately. But meanwhile, following complaints by Awomolo, Justice Omosho cautioned Kanu's former lawyers, who are now his consultants in the case, who now refer to themselves as his consultant, to conduct themselves within the ethics of the legal profession. The lawyers are PAN Ejiofor, Aloy Ejimakor, Dr. Maxwell Opara, and Prince Mandele Umegboro. Awomolo had accused these lawyers of granting media interviews and making subtle posts on social medias relating to the case. The lawyers, who Kanu also confirmed as his consultants, were in court to witness Wednesday's proceedings and introduce themselves as such. My goodness, it's best to hear from Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer now, as he tells us exactly what's playing out and what may likely be. Though he's not predicting the judgment, but he's giving Nigerians head start on exactly what all of this drama means in simple terms, apart from using the technical terms. Let's watch the video. We'll be back.
hearing in the case of Nnamdi Kanu, and the crowning glory of it was that he put up a very good defense of himself, even though he was concentrating on the objections raised to the jurisdiction of the court. On that note, the court adjourned for further hearing to 7th of November, when the court expects that he will enter a full defense. Well, having said that, I know a lot of people have raised questions and eyebrows about the propriety of Nnamdi Kanu representing himself. It is his decision to make. He has the right under the Constitution to defend himself, and this case being politically charged, I think the idea or the notion that this is a normal criminal case has to be dispensed with. This is a normal criminal case at all. If you want to understand the complexity of this case and the true political dimensions to it, you think of the case of Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, Obafemi Awolowo, Mahatma Gandhi. These cases were all politically tinged cases masquerading as criminal prosecutions. And these great men I mentioned, at some point in their struggle, at some point in their travail imposed on them by the state, they took the podium and defended themselves. So a politically charged case often comes with some unusual dimensions like this. So because, why? The reason is simple. Lawyers are restricted to very narrow wiggle room when they are doing a case. And that narrow wiggle room can be inimical, can be prejudicial to the interest of the client. When the case has a political dimension to it, that thing needs to be out there. That limitation we have is not expected of the defendant himself. So a lot of times, the defendant himself will make the best defense of his case at that very point in time. That does not obviate the fact that the presence of a lawyer in a case is always better. But in certain circumstances, there are exceptions, and the exception is, this one is one of the major exceptions. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
We are finishing court today, and today my opinion still maintains that there are some thresholds that needed, that the court needed to clarify to enable him to enter defense. Because it's talking about entering defense. You're asking to enter defense. Entering defense of what? What is the entering defense? Defense of what? So that is the key. Because the defense is said that you should enter, there must be a law. There must be a charge. Since there is no law, there is no charge. What defense is he going to enter? But the law, my law says procedurally that he's going to, it's not as if that Nnamdi Kanu doesn't have a case, that he wants to hear it at the end of the trial, so that he would like Nnamdi Kanu to enter defense and explain some certain things. So we are going to go back